Testing, testing. Hi, my name is Dean Monroe and I'm with VIA Services, and I'm here with Leslie Davis, who's the director of VIA West Campus, also with VIA Services. And Dory, we are here at VIA West Campus, which has been open since 1955. It is a terrific place. There's 13 acres up here in the Santa Cruz foothills. We're just about 10 or 15 miles from downtown Cupertino. So we've been in operation for over 50 years now, and over that course of half a century, hundreds of thousands of children, teenagers, and adults have come up here, all with developmental disabilities, to have what we think is their most enjoyable week of the year. And over the course of the last several decades, we have essentially had fun camp-like activities, and now in the last 5 years especially, we have transitioned into teaching more life skills. That's so important for all of those categories, adults, teenagers, but also children. You know, we want to teach them about using public transportation. We want to teach them about using money, communication skills, and social skills. All that are important. So Leslie has written the curriculum up here. So that's kind of what we're about. We'll elaborate as we go on here. But then also, you know, this week we've got 40 adults up here. So you won't see children up here. That was last week, but we've got 40 adults up here. And Leslie will have about 20 counselors. There's a pretty high ratio of counselors to our clients, given the nature of the disabilities. Disabilities, there's a number of them, but primarily I think it's fair to say autism, cerebral palsy, and Down syndrome. Do I have that right, Leslie?
And PDD.
PDD, no jargon, no jargon.
Pervasive developmental delay.
Okay. So I think really what Intero Foundation wants to know is the $10,000 that you're asking.
Yes.
How it will benefit the children directly.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, in our application, we asked for the $10,000 for a new program that we started last year, our iPad educational program. Over the last 2 years, it's been incredibly clear, there have been national stories about this in the New York Times, 60 Minutes, and so on, that the iPad is an extraordinary educational and motivational tool for everybody, but even for, and especially for, children with special needs. That just there's such a variety of applications now that in the hands of a trained counselor with a child can make huge differences in terms of that child coming out of their shell, learning to articulate their thoughts, learning to socialize, on and on. So we want to use the money in particular for the children's part of our iPad program. All right? Hi there.
Hi, Alicia.
How are you? And in particular, what we'd like to use the money for are sort of three things here. One is apps. Every week new apps come out, and so you can overdo the number and variety of those, but still we like to stay on top of what's current. There are just so many advances coming out. As people, programmers, discover the world of special needs education, they do more and more apps. So we are always purchasing and updating our apps. Second thing is we have 32 iPads here, but when we have a week with 60 or 70 children, we can even use more. All right, we make do with 32. So we would love to have, you know, half a dozen or so more iPads here if possibly. And then last thing is, you know, a camp like this is, you know, we like to think a wonderful experience, but giving the staffing that I talked about, where you have maybe one counselor for every one child or two children, depending on the nature of the disability, expenses up here can be pretty high. All right, so consequently, the cost here for a child to come is quite expensive. It goes up to about $1,500 or so a week. So it's out of reach of a lot of people who don't have good incomes and so on. So we're always looking for money that we can put into a scholarship program so that we can have more children come up here who we can help financially and who can then come up here, have their favorite week of the year, at the same time learn life skills, in particular through the iPad program. So we think the way this would break down the $10,000 is if we're able to do 6 iPads, that's about $3,000. We'd set aside $2,000 for purchasing apps over the course of the next half a year or 9 months, and then also we take the remaining $5,000 and do scholarships with that money, all right? And we try to get parents to pay some to maximize how